2-egg cheese omelet is, in my opinion, the queen of all the omelets. It has eggs, which have excellent protein and fats in them, good for digestion for the frail elderly and gives them good nourishment. And it has cheese, which also has protein and fats in it also. And it's a delectable combination of both the cheese and the eggs together. I don't think it gets much better than that for a breakfast item. So what we need to do with the eggs is first we need to crack them and beat a lot of air into them. That's really critical for the way that I make my cheese omelet. So I'm putting 2 eggs into the bowl and over the sink, because sometimes I get a little sloppy, with a little bit of water. I beat these eggs until they're frothy. The interesting thing about eggs, just like heavy cream, is that the longer you beat it, it will basically double in volume. I don't know if you can see it, but the eggs are getting real frothy, making it really ideal for cooking our omelet. I think we're just about done. So the eggs are done. Let's turn on the heat on our pan and add the oil. This is a heavy bottom 9-inch standard omelet pan. It doesn't have any coating on it at all. It's the way I prefer it. And I'm going to be using some corn oil. You can use a lot of different types of oils. I prefer corn oil. Canola oil I think would be good also. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil to the bottom of the pan. The nice thing about these oils, when they heat up, they expand also. So you don't need very much, but you need some to cover the bottom of the pan. Now the way that I cook omelets is that when I add the eggs to the hot oil, it's going to form a skin immediately. The pan has to be hot in order for that to cook properly. Otherwise, sadly, the eggs will stick to the bottom of the pan, and it'll be very difficult then to move the eggs around and to make that perfect omelet shape that we're going to be aiming for. And one way to check to see if the pan is hot enough is to put a couple of drops of water into the oil, and if it sizzles, it's going to be okay. Not quite ready. We're going to have to wait another minute or two. And I think I can hear the water sizzling in there, so I know it's looking okay in terms of the heat. So now we're going to add the eggs to the oil and scrape the bottom in there so we get all the eggs into the pan. And now we're going to cover it again, basically letting the heat inside the oil and the heat that's coming up and trapped inside the cover cook not only the bottom, but we also are going to be cooking the top of the eggs. Cooking the top of the eggs is the trickiest part of making an omelet. Like I said, some people like to lift the side of the eggs and let the uncooked portion of the egg slide underneath. I don't particularly like to do that, and I will show you one way to handle that. Well, basically there's 2 ways. One way is you could have a broiler, have the broiler on, and stick the whole pan under the broiler for 30-40 seconds in order to cook the top of the omelet. Or, like I'm going to do in a few seconds, is to flip the eggs over, cook them so that the top of the omelet is fully cooked, flip it back, and then add the cheese. Many people like to add ingredients into the eggs while they're cooking. I don't like to do that. If you're going to be making a Denver omelet, for instance, you're going to be adding peppers and onions and diced ham. I saute that in a separate pan and then add it to the top of the eggs, put the cheese on top, and fold the omelet over that, as against putting it into the eggs to begin with. Let's see how these eggs are cooking right now. And good. Looks like it's forming that skin is not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Yes, can you see how the eggs are moving inside the pan? Still a little wet on top. I'm not ready to quite flip it, so I'm going to cover it for another few seconds until the item is Okay, well let's take a look now. It's been sitting there for a few seconds. Yes, you can see the cheese melting. I'm just going to dent this a little bit to give a place for the eggs to slip over. I'm going to lift the eggs over, drop it on top of the cheese. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? Kill the heat and slide it onto my plate. There we are. 2-egg cheese omelet. Eat and enjoy. This is Philip Butzen, chef at Huntington Manor, and our motto is nobody leaves here hungry, and today's cooking lesson was the 2-egg cheese omelet. Thank you.